Are we rolling?
Why do you always need to know if we're rolling?
Well, because I need to know if I...
Do you not want me to...
Am I giving a real answer? Like
without
the
your
real
consent?
Housewives? I'm not worried about that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I can turn anything you say and make it into a sentence.
Give it to me. I'm ready.
So, executive producer and myself, we're going to do an exclusive.
Okay.
I just wanted to add exclusive to make it sound cool, but
okay.
An exclusive AMA where ask us anything, work related, personal, et cetera, whatever.
Okay.
So the responses are coming in, but one of them I see here before we get into charm, I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Which we'll also talk about on the AMA. Which Bravo Leb or combination of Bravo Lebs do you feel is most like you?
Ooh. Ooh,
yeah. I mean, let's start with sense of humor. Who do you feel like follows your sense of humor the most?
It would be too hard to do one person because it's like a combination.
That's what I'm saying.
Platter,
yeah.
Right?
That's what they're asking. It can be a composite character.
Okay.
It can be many people rolled into one.
Well, so I think like sense of humor and like lightness of life, like someone who like comes across kind of light and like likes to have fun, like a Sonia.
You love light.
I just like people that don't take themselves too seriously. Like that to me is an attraction I find in people. And I feel like I don't take myself too seriously.
Who do you think?
So Sonia Morgan for that regard.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Brynn. Brynn doesn't take herself too seriously.
Who do you think takes themselves too seriously and why is it Erin Litchie?
Yeah, Erin takes herself too seriously. And let me tell you someone who else does it, but it works. Alex McCord. Alex McCord is someone who takes herself so seriously, but it comes across in a different way.
She's loosey-goosey. She's fun. She definitely went to Plato's Closet.
Okay.
She swings.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what I mean? Like she takes herself too seriously. Okay. No, I don't know what you mean.
She does take herself too seriously, but she's like cool like that.
Okay. All right. Well, to each their own.
I'm sorry. Alex McCord.
I mean, I love Alex. That's what I'm saying. But I feel like we love her differently.
What about her husband?
Simon? No, is that his name? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure.
I think Simon is the type of guy that would not care if Alex couldn't have sex in 18 months. That's why I think that they're cool. Like they're like.
No, I think that they're on the same page.
Yes,
they get each other and their life blends very well together. Okay. However, I did see them on Couples Therapy back in the day on VH1 and they were horrific.
Were they?
Yeah. But
so who else? Who else is part of your composite character?
I mean, I would like to think that I have like some good strength and also some my God, I'm having a stroke.
Literally, guys, I didn't know if it was me or what, but all I hear is
guys, I'm drinking a nice
That's all I could fucking hear. I was like, is it me? Is it me? Is it my Wellbutrin? I was like, is it my Ativan?
It's both of us.
Yeah. I'm like,
I was like a character in the 20s.
No, you sounded like Jodie Foster and Nell. I was like, who hasn't learned any languages? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I am like Nell.
You're feral.
I am like Nell.
Fucking feral.
Shit. Didn't she win an Oscar for that one, though? Or no?
She was nominated.
Yeah, she didn't win for that one.
Bitch, The Accused and Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, yeah. Well, what I was going to say...
Lesbians unite.
Is I would like to have some strength and characteristics of Garcelle. I would love to think that we have some similarities.
I think so.
I'm just thinking of all my favorite people is really what I'm doing. And I have the appetite and the diet that Lisa Barlow has.
Okay.
Taco Bell, tequila.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
I don't know. I mean,
fun.
What about you?
Fun question, fun answer.
Guys, it's a very hard question to answer on the spot.
Who would I be a composite of?
Who are you?
I'm scared to admit mine.
What is it? Just do it. Just do it.
Okay. Madison LaCroix.
That's great.
Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, Virgos?
Well, she is a Virgo, but Madison LaCroix is not.
Oh.
Lala Kent.
Okay.
Craig Conover.
Okay.
But it's the truth.
Now
these are people who are probably the most like me.
Okay, but what specifically?
Madison with her sharp tongue and being like feeling misunderstood by being like always like she's super tough. Like she's really sensitive.
Yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump because her intellect, she's very cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nicest way I'll say that. And
Love that. You heard it here first, guys.
you heard it here first. Who are the other ones I said?
Craig.
Oh, Craig, because so many ideas, but like sometimes it's hard and to focus and stuff like that. But very creative, very creative. Always just like kind of churning. Also just kind of blowing shit up. And okay, who else? I'm trying to think of men.
Okay.
That I'm kind of like. Here's the thing: I make fun of everyone to their face, so it's like hard for me to think about who's the most like me in that term. Maybe like Shep or Whitney. They're the things that they read, I read.
Whitney, Southern Charm, not Whitney Rose. Well, we need to clarify.
Are you okay?
I'm just saying. I know you, but somebody might be listening to us for the first time today.
Okay, guys, if you're just tuning into Reality Bites,
she's offended that I want you to know
that my composite Bravo characters that are the most like me is Whitney Wild Rose. And by the way, that's not to be insulting to Whitney Wild Rose. I love her. Okay, I like your shoes.
Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit of a stop.
No, I do like Whitney, but I am not thinking of Whitney in that regard. Like the reading, poetry, all the
what
they read. They're very in that realm of things that I like that are nerdy.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll watch, no joke, I'll watch a 12-hour Ken Burns documentary about the Roosevelts.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, I can't get into that because everyone's gonna fall asleep. But,
yeah, correct.
But anyway, I just felt like all
right.
Well, guys, we're here to recap Southern Charm. Shall we just get into it?
I mean, talk about Craig to Craig. Look, I'm excited.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Reality Bites, the podcast where we'll deep dive into this week's buzziest reality TV and pop culture happenings.
I'm Betsy, and while I may be 9 to 5 by day, I'm a reality connoisseur by night.
And I'm Lauren, a reality TV producer by trade, but my favorite pastime is dishing unfiltered dirt and behind-the-scenes scoop. We'll tackle the biggest and best water cooler moments of the week through an insider lens you won't find anywhere else.
Buckle up, buttercups.
Please don't tell me it's about Tom.
It's about Tom.
This is Reality Bites. Ooh. En vino veritas.
Oh, yeah. The truth.
Yeah.
Well, they say alcohol is truth serum.
Yeah. Drunk man's words, sober man's thoughts.
I know this is the very end of the episode, but I did low-key love that Shep was drinking what I assume was red wine, because that's what he asked for, out of like a straight-up beer glass. You know what I mean? I thought, you know what, only in Southern Charm can they pull this off.
Yeah, but they also have so many nice glasses at Patricia's. Like, get on with it.
Patricia probably would have been horrified.
She absolutely would have been horrified. She
there.
absolutely would have been horrified. Do you believe in life after love?
Just like Cher. No. I'm just kidding. Sure.
They both get into their car.
Mm-hmm.
One drives away, as one would think. The other one says, no, I'm just going to sit in my car.
Well, maybe she can't multitask.
Bullshit. They're filming her in her car sitting.
Well, maybe she didn't have a camera in her car, so maybe they had to...
No, she has a camera in the car.
Well, she might be like a nervous driver. You know what I mean?
What is wrong with you? Let Jesus take the wheel then.
Listen, I don't know. I'm just saying she obviously was very frazzled.
She's very frazzled.
And she's probably like this, like a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she just didn't feel comfortable being behind the wheel. I don't know.
Now, I know we obviously talked about it last week, but let's get a little bit more in depth.
Okay,
now that we've had a week to sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling with what Taylor has now, quote, admitted to Olivia?
Okay.
And now we see Taylor calling Austen, but Taylor doesn't tell Austen all the things that she said to Olivia.
Mm-hmm. Consistency. Look at her coming through. She is going to hide the truth from Olivia, And then she's going to double down, baby, and she's going to hide the truth from Austen.
Like, that's not the best move, I don't think.
I feel like, don't they just kind of get caught up in it?
Yeah, they do.
It's easier, even though they know they're going to have to eat it months later when we have to watch it, but it's easier to get through that one moment, just kind of lying to yourself and lying to the person.
Of course, but the problem is that everybody knows what Taylor's told everybody, but Austen does not know that Taylor's told everybody that something happened. Austen is of the mind that everyone thinks that nothing happened because of his side of the story.
Well, that's his first mistake.
Of course.
Because his side of the story is actually more obvious than anything she's actually verbally said.
Let me tell you, guys, I knew this before Austen did.
Yeah, I bet so.
I'm like, I had text messages of people telling me this was going on before Austen knew that everybody else knew.
Yeah, he's always the last to know.
He
Isn't he? He's like that Britney Spears song.
He is the last to know, but he's also the first to know, which is why we're in this fucking mess to begin with.
I mean, yeah.
They should have just told her what, I know this is going to be not lost on anyone, but they should have just told Olivia what the fuck was going on when they did.
Correct.
Because because here's the thing, guys, I know all these people and I know how they operate. And I have repeated I can't say I've said this to Taylor, but I can tell you and I can assure you I have repeated this to Austen over and over and over again. No matter how often you think that you're going to escape and finagle your way behind the scenes, you will get caught. I have said this to him tenfold. I have screamed this to him. And I say that proverbially, but I have told him time and time and time and time and time again.
End of time.
It's not the mistake that's the issue. It's how you come back from it. But again, per usual, let's not tell anybody anything. Okay. So you know how Taylor is. You know the person that Taylor is. Taylor's a person who she is guilt-ridden. Don't think about the Taylor that you're seeing right now on the show. Think about last year Taylor. Mm-hmm. Taylor is a person who does have a lot of integrity, despite what we're seeing. Does that shift this season? Absolutely. But I'd like to think that we're going to get back to a good place. But she does, by and large, have a lot of integrity. The fact that this needed to be hidden and the fact that they both thought that they were going to have the Constitution to do it for as long as they did is where I'm more questioning their mental health. In the sense of not actually are they well, more of just questioning, do they understand the choices that they're making and the consequence that will unfold? Because Taylor's not the one and neither is Austen. And to think that they both thought that they were going to get away with this is the most asinine thing that I've ever witnessed. And maybe I sound a little too serious. It's because these were my cast members and they know better. And I'm literally just like, I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. You shit the bed, both of you.
Yeah.
I'm actually talking, honestly, I'm going to go into producer voice because I don't know how. I did not work on this season, by the way, but I did work on season 7 and 8. And I'm just like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, you fucking shit the bed. You shit the fucking bed. And by the way, he's done it before. I understand you cannot commit, but figure it the fuck out.
It's bad. They both look terrible. They both look terrible.
Taylor running into someone else's arms for comfort and there being a rebound and it being adjacent to Shep is one thing. Shep is also not that type of a guy. He wouldn't have cared. Austen?
Like, he's not threatened by Austen is what you're saying.
Well, yes.
Okay.
He's not threatened by Austen.
I'm trying to read between the lines
He's
here.
not threatened by Austen, but I think also a part of Shep is like, you could have just done it with somebody better. Like, why Austen? Because now this is a fucking mess. And it does hurt Shep's feelings.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we have no willpower. We have no way to rein it in. But you want to know why? Because at the end of the day, that big, strong man that everybody thinks that there's a little bitty boy who feels that no one's ever going to love them. Mm-hmm. And that's how you end up in shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yes. The scene, not to jump all over the place, but the scene when Austen is with Whitney and they're kind of talking and he's like, well, what if I did make out with her? There's a sense that I'm getting from Austen that it's so bad that I think that there's a part of him, whether it's subconscious or not, that he wants people to know about this. I got the girl that loves Shep, but you know what? She wanted to sleep with me too. There's just, is he that bad? Maybe he is that bad. But there's a sense that he is being so overtly obvious.
But that's how bad it is. He wants no one to know. and he is hoping and clinging on for dear life
then
that no one's
I-
actually going to say the thing that he's trying to avoid them to say, which is being explicit and saying, did you hook up?
Well,
there's a reason why
he's in that corner now.
Yeah, and there's a reason why Whitney has, line, hook, sinker with the fucking Leon's goddamn fried chicken because it's the best motherfucking chicken in town.
Okay.
He's got him with the booze. He's got him with the dom. He's got him with the fried chicken. Why? Because loose lips sink a ships. Whitney's working, guys. Whitney
was great in that scene.
Working. He is clocked in. We're getting a little bit more loosey-goosey. Whitney's not an idiot. It's all over the place. Everyone's talking about it. I mean, not everybody's talking about it, but kind of everybody's talking about it. I don't understand why Taylor thought it was wise for Austen to be the first call, going back to the car. I don't know. For producers, by all means, call whoever you want. Austen, he's leading Taylor in a way that is just not... He's just bad at this.
Well,
he's really bad at backdoor producing. And I've caught him before and I'm catching him now. And Taylor is too malleable to not see past. She thinks that they're in this together and they're going to get out unscathed. And he's going to throw her under the bus. And he so much just does.
That's why I think she calls him. Because you leave that scene with Olivia, she's feeling a certain type of way. And you can see the only time she kind of gets emotional in the car, she's like, I told Olivia and I told Olivia because I thought it was going to go in a certain way, but it went the opposite way. And I think she's calling him because they are in on this together.
Sure.
He's the only person that's going to say, it's not your fault. Like, we know, like, we have nothing to hide. We did nothing wrong.
Confirmation bias.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's the only person that can make her feel better about this moment on how she's leaving that interaction with Olivia.
Call me, please.
Call you specifically.
I'm like, Austen, come on. Okay, so here's an interview bite that was probably snatched towards the end of the season. Austen claims on the phone with Taylor that they weren't really talking at that point. To Olivia's point, she's saying that they absolutely were. They were trying to figure it out. And then Taylor's interview bite is, were Austen and Olivia ever really together? It's so confusing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
What do you feel about that?
I understand that she's in a very bad place right now. And I think that because, look, she too, like Olivia, has experienced a lot of tragedy this year. Her brother also passed. There's a lot going on. Her sister has been sick over the years and she's just experienced a lot.
Yeah.
The breakup with Shep is probably it's that breakup. It's the one that shatters you. It's the one that changes you. And you're never, I'm not saying negatively, like you're never the same, you're not like Gollum, but you're just not quite the same after that. And that's this relationship. So I'm not surprised that her behaviors are all over the place. I am a little surprised that Austen is not recognizing what this is and saying no, but we'll get there later. She's just really going in the wrong direction because I think she's having a hard time she's not having a hard time taking accountability. She knows that what she did is wrong. She's having a hard time processing the shame. So it's coming out with, well, were they really even together? And it's really nasty.
Well, I'm not seeing any accountability yet. Maybe we'll get that later. I see what you're saying, but I would disagree that I don't think there's any accountability.
Oh, I just mean like acknowledging that, yes, they slept in the same room, but nothing happened. They did talk to the parents. I'm not saying the actual hookup. I just mean acknowledging
certain things.
Accountability with that.
Certain things.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But that really kind of, and Taylor really is a good person. I adore her to death, but that was, even for me, I got to be honest, I was kind of surprised. That is not, and I don't want to do she used to be nice and now she's not nice anymore. No, that's not what this is coming from. That's what they did last episode. They were like, she used to be nice. And they kind of like shamed her at Vanita's backyard.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's not what I'm trying to do, but I do know who she is. And I know she has a lot of dignity and a lot of integrity. And I think that either she's really lost or something's got to give, because I've known the girl for 2 years. This is not the person. I've never seen this where she's just like throwing Olivia like that in the confessional.
And that's what's disappointing is they take Austen out of it completely. It's
fuck Austen.
It's about she and Olivia, right? So it's just like,
it should be.
It's hard, and I think you have to live and be with yourself, right? And I think, yes, she knows what she did. She has guilt about it. I don't care. She can say on camera 100 times, like, we're in the clear. I don't know what she says. She says something to Austen that, like, we have nothing that we need to apologize for, even though obviously you do, because you're on screen and you're having certain reactions about it. But I think for her, it's easy to minimize any type of relationship that Austen and Olivia had, because it makes her feel less guilty about what happened, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's disappointing to see. And obviously she was a good friends with Olivia, so she should really know more than anybody. I mean, Olivia says it. Taylor was one of the reasons that I tried to keep giving it a shot with Austen, which is so fucking weird. But
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And look, here's what I'll say. I'd be lying if I didn't acknowledge that having been around Austen and Taylor, there was a magnetism that you felt with them. They were both in relationships with people that they really liked and or loved. So I knew that to be true, but I could sense an energy from them that I personally thought if anything were to ever happen between them, it would probably be in like 5 years, like way on down the road.
5 minutes, baby.
What? I was like, not now. I didn't say now. That's literally what I said when I saw the headline. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. No. Yeah. So, lo siento. But that's the honest to God truth. I felt it because.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
Well, they're just very. It's not even that they're so similar. They just kind of get each other in that way. But I don't necessarily think that that's going to happen given everything. I mean, look, who's to say? Who's to say?
Yeah. I would. And then it's all kind of for nothing, right? So it's like, it's just kind of sad. It's like, if they could somehow find each other in this and make it out alive, which I don't think will happen. But if they do, then at least it was for something. But
Madison even caught on to it at the reunion. We felt it.
Roll the tapes. Roll the tapes.
Roll it. Roll it. Roll it.
And roll it, they did.
Stand on your legs because you can barely stand on your own. That's my favorite one. I did it wrong. I know people are going to be so annoyed that I did that. Okay. So we're at JT's event space.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, I kind of like that he's this renter of event spaces in Charleston.
I thought the space was cool.
When do we ever see people avidly go to work? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of a fun story to follow. I actually think one of his rentals is one that I looked into renting when I was working on Southern. Yes.
Wow.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Small world.
Thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the space was cool.
Rod comes over.
They come over and they have a
heart.
What are they drinking? Neat? No, on the rocks.
Oh, what are they drinking? Whiskey neat?
Yeah. Well, no, he's like, never neat, always on the rocks. That's what he said. That's what Rod said.
Oh.
R-O-D.
What is he drinking always on the rocks?
I forgot what it was.
Okay, I'll have to go back.
It was some whiskey. But,
okay, I'll have to go back and look at that.
But yeah, they have a heart-to-heart about Austen.
So Rod fills JT in on the little bromance that he had. His little mano-y-mano, heart-to-heart at 167 Raw with Austen. And
what a joy that was.
What a Jesus Christ. I bet Austen regrets wearing that cap.
Why?
Because it looked like Rod.
Oh, he didn't want to look like Rod?
Well, they both wore a cap backwards. They were both kind of dressed very similar, like very frat-tastic. Like they were definitely both Sigma Chi. You know what I mean?
I didn't
Fratty
even pick up on that.
Anyway,
He's just so insecure. Oh, God. Maybe be worried about the shit you said in the scene instead of your fucking hat.
Well, that's where we get the flash. Rod tells JT that what was kind of weird going out with Austen was obviously he was going to tell him that he went out with Olivia, but Austen's response was less than desirable, but I don't really know what type of a response he desired. It's kind of odd just being like, hey, so I already went out with her. I mean, it's kind of weird. You already did it, you know?
Yeah.
But Austen, did tell him, okay, but just so you know, like I did see her out the other night with someone.
A baseball player.
The way that I saw it was to imply that she's seeing people. She's not exclusive to anyone, that she's just, okay. So I'm curious about your opinion on this because the way that he says it is, Austen tells me that, you'll never believe this, but I want her to be happy. But then 2 seconds later, tells me he saw her out with this guy, slut shaming her. I was like, oh. I was like, wow. Was that slut shaming?
You'll be shocked by this. I actually do not agree. I don't think it was.
I didn't think it was either.
To me, everything that reeks from Austen is about himself. So to me,
Yes.
it was more. To me, it was more about him like trying to be like, oh, listen, I want the best for Olivia, but just so you know, Rod, she's seen other people. Like,
Thank
To
you.
me, it had more to do with like him trying to make himself feel better and like bring Rob down.
That's how
Rod.
I took it.
What's his name?
Rod.
I keep calling him Rob. Rod down versus like slut shaming her. I didn't take that at all.
Also, Austen, believe it or not, he's really not a slut shamer. He just isn't.
He can't be. I'm sorry. Absolutely fucking not.
Just like anybody, when they get into fights, they'll definitely whore and stuff like that, but they're not. It's used more as a put down than it is like he actually thinks like that. And I'm not defending misogyny. I don't like when they say or use any of these words, but he's just not that type of a guy to slut shame. Like he doesn't care about that stuff.
Guys, it's all about his own insecurity. And I think I learned a little bit about Rod, the fact that he is retelling the story in that type of way, because I didn't get the sense in that meeting of the minds of the hats that when Austen brought that up, that he was like, wow, I can't believe he's saying that about Olivia. It was more of like, oh, okay, she's
like
maybe he's a little bit butthurt.
Exactly. Like, Rod, you're not the only one. She's dating others too, okay?
Yeah.
God, how about this? Shut up.
Pipe it.
Just say cool.
Just come to the scene and do some mime work, okay?
Cool.
Just mime around and let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Mime your own business, Austen.
Dangerous Mimes. Starring Austen Krill. God.
I honestly cannot. Okay, well, God.
I'm so glad we were on the same side of that one.
I figured we would.
I feel like we would.
I figured we would be. I don't mean to laugh, but we're at Taylor's day chaser party.
Oh well, keep the laughter going.
I feel so bad because it's raining, and raining in Charleston fucking sucks.
I love that it's raining,
and it's not cold enough to feel like it's winter. I get the theme. It's what is it? Opry ski.
Yeah, some ski day or some shit.
And I know that she's trying to promote Day Chaser, and I know that she's promoting it at Republic. I don't know. I just feel like there's a better venue for this, and that's no shade to Leva's venue, but I know that because she's trying to get it in to their restaurants, she has to do it there. There just seems to be something that feels a little lackluster.
Yeah, it was.
And it sucks because like we have to follow them planning their own parties.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes
off.
I think it makes sense, obviously, because you have Leva on the show. Leva has multiple restaurants, and there's a sense, and we saw it in the first episode. There's a sense that like Leva's kind of throwing her a bone, right? She's giving her the opportunity to take her life into a new direction.
She's throwing her a milk bone. Let's be clear here.
As she said in the first episode, she's single and shouldn't have a job. So now she's giving her a platform to
Godmother Leva to save the day
to promote.
Boppity. Boop.
Whatever this drink is, I guess this drink is like a White Claw.
Day Chaser.
Well, I got that, but like it's a hard seltzer, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She's setting up. She really wants to do well at this event. This is all or nothing.
Yeah,
all or nothing. Well, Leva fills her in, of course, naturally. Baton toss, guys. We baton toss. We find out that Olivia called Leva, which we find out. We also see.
Right.
But Leva's concerned. Leva's concerned because
let's get personal.
Exactly. Because of what she shared with her.
Mm-hmm.
Full meltdown. And you know what? I commend and applaud Leva in this because it wasn't very parental to me. Okay. To me, it was more of just like, hey, I did talk to Olivia as a friend and like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? I do think that you owe her a call and I think that she's really devastated. Now, where it doesn't work for me is that this is a work event.
Yeah, but I mean...
What?
I mean, you gotta work it in there.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we have to work it in there that way?
Yeah, I think so. That's the setting. Where else are they gonna go?
I don't know. Maybe meet with her for coffee or some shit?
The next day?
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
maybe.
Leva just has to get it out, though. Listen, I don't love that she said that Olivia had a meltdown. Maybe she just couldn't think of a different word. I don't think Olivia was having a meltdown.
No, I don't like that either.
And, she does tell Taylor that she's disappointed. I'm disappointed because I love you and I love Austen.
Okay, that is mom. She is momming her, I guess.
So there are a few moments. Listen, I like Leva. I feel like Leva does things where she thinks that she's being helpful and like a friend, but really what she's doing is she's talking at you.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, and I feel like Taylor's so disconnected anyway. Like Taylor's really not even taking in what she's saying, and
I don't think she cares to hear what Leva says.
It reads that way. Like
I mean, she doesn't. And look, Love. Oh, sorry.
Well, I don't know if it's just her protecting herself. Like she's like, oh God, I can't hear another person that's saying they're disappointed. Like it's starting to like tally up, but she definitely is not receiving what Leva is saying.
I really admire and I respect Leva. However, she does have a penchant to talk to you as though she needs to teach you a lesson.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, I mean, she does say in an interview, look, because Leva's of my mind. You don't just fall in a dick.
Correct.
And, I've known about this for a long time and I've talked to people here and there. And I feel the exact same way. Like, whether you want to admit it or not, that's fine. And, deny until you die. But sometimes the smoking gun is ablazing. You know what I mean? And it can ablaze all you want and we can still never know what happened, but it's just, there's too much.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much. And you can't just fall on a fucking dick.
Well, and the problem with Taylor is that it's like, at least with like Sandoval stuff, it was always like, no, never, never, no, never. But like with Taylor, she's kind of lives in the in-between, right? Like she gives a little, but she's not going to give a lot. Like even in this scene with Leva's like, at this point, you just need to say everything. You need to say all the truth. And instead of her being like, I have said all the truth, she's like, yeah. It's like, okay, we're living in the in-between.
Well, yeah. And then you've got Austen in the mindset of no one knows. He thinks at this point no one knows because no one's told him that Taylor has told everybody. So anytime somebody comes to him with, hey, we're going to get a scene of you and Shep, or we're going to get a scene with you in this, he has to acquiesce and say yes without ever putting up a fight. Because if he puts up a fight, why are you putting up a fight? So he's trying so hard to cling on to the perceived truth without any realization that his little dalliance, Taylor and Green, has already told everybody what's going on. So we see this fucking Austen Shep call, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, ay Dios mío. I'm like, hello?
That was horrific.
Correct. Also, right before we get to that, I'm a little perturbed. I don't understand why Taylor thinks that Olivia should be there.
At the party?
Or
at the event?
At the event. Do I understand the ideology behind that? The concept of like women supporting women and no matter what, da-da-da-da-da-da, girls first. Mm-hmm. But then I need that energy to be back 5 months ago when you were contemplating whether or not you liked your best friend's ex or current trying to figure it out. Women first, women empowerment. I think in this particular sense, this argument is flawed and failed and futile.
Of course, but Olivia being there has nothing to do with women empowerment. Olivia being there has to do with Taylor being like, oh, okay,
everything's fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Yeah, it's for her.
Of course.
Put a little Band-Aid on that,
bullet wound.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this call, what were you going to say? The Shep?
This call, well, guys, I mean, we heard nothing. Mm-hmm. I honestly didn't know if like it was editing because nothing was said. Because what happens is we get the call and then Austen tells Shep, well, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Aren't you going to do that? Well, because Taylor called me and Taylor and Olivia had a meeting and it did not go well. She said some things that Olivia didn't like. Oh God, what did Taylor do? And then we immediately go from what did Taylor do to did y'all hook up? No, hand on Bible. Here's the reason.
Bible.
Here's the reason I know that Taylor and Austen have gotten very close. They're sharing the same vocabulary.
Yep.
I've never heard Austen say anything about, and we hear it in that scene when Shep's like, "Oh, you're not even religious." I've never heard in the multiple seasons that Austen has been on him talk anything about hand on Bible, Bible this, Bible that. But what we do know is that Taylor talks that way.
Yeah.
So when he said hand on Bible, I said they're sharing vocabulary, and they are very close at this point. And but that's when we got nothing. All we know is that Taylor and Olivia had a conversation. It did not go well. And then Shep was like, God, what did Taylor do? What are you trying to tell me? Nothing. I'm trying to tell you nothing. All right, man. Okay, well, I'll see you later. What the fuck was that drive-by disaster?
How about I tell you this? Look at it more like a coup d'etat.
Okay, what does that mean? Kuna Matata? Can you...
A coup d'etat.
Remember that I made C's in school.
A coup d'etat is a takeover.
Okay, all right.
Okay, usually it's a government takeover. Okay. I need you to look at it like a coup d'etat in that way. We're in step 1. We know Austen's not going. Okay. Shep knows that there are things that are off, right?
Okay.
Shep has a very strong inkling that this has happened. Does he know the whole truth and nothing but the truth? No.
Right.
But he's not stupid, right? It's kind of like, God, dare I use this analogy, but when someone goes missing, right?
Mhm.
And that mother waits for 20 years. I think by year 19, you're going to know that they're probably no longer living.
Yeah.
But you're still going to hold out on that 1%. That's where Shep's
Sure.
at, okay?
Okay.
But Shep also knows how to do this. And what I mean by that is he's going to ask Austen why he's not going, because he knows that Austen's going to fail and fall on the sword.
Okay.
He knows that Austen's going to be awkward as fuck. He knows that Austen's going to be like, rah, rah, all over the place. So it's going to start giving him the leverage, and it's going to start giving him the credence to really narrow down that this motherfucker did what he's trying to fucking tell me he didn't do.
So
Because-
Shep, no,
yes.
Shep's okay that this conversation
Yes.
went the way it did because he got everything he needed to get. Okay.
Because Shep knows Austen so fucking well that why aren't you going to the event? You should be going. This
Yeah.
wouldn't matter to you. Why not? Why not? When Madison told Austen, if you don't act like a fucking adult, you're not coming to this beach party. So I'm disinviting you. What happened?
He showed up.
You showed up anyway.
Yeah.
So why would he not show up to this? Why
Yeah.
does it matter? And Shep's like, that's weird. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
And so we're going to call Austen. We're going to see why he's not showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Austen's not going to say, I don't want to take that call from Shep because it's weird. Well, because then he would have to explain why it's weird.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is his world's slowly caving in.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got Austen and Whitney at Patricia's. They're going to have fun. We'll get
Yeah.
there in a second.
Yeah.
But do you understand how this is
Yeah.
all slowly, the domino effect?
Yeah. And the sad thing is that like
The plan.
he
plan
just
of
doesn't
action.
stand a chance. And he doesn't stand a chance by himself. If
I
we saw
know.
him in a solo scene, that's why I'm like, there's a part of me that like, wants to actually think that he wants this to come out because the alternative is that he is an idiot.
I do think
Like,
that there's
I-
probably some truth to that.
He is reading so badly on camera that
I know.
it's like he doesn't want to come out and say it, but he wants people to know. But the scene with Whitney set me over the top. I'm like, is this a skit? I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Because he was just so like he was like, yeah. What if I did make out with her in his face? Like,
But because first of all, they're wasted.
well,
And Whitney is trying to prod.
Whitney did a very good job.
He was great. He was fucking great. Well, we're at the date chaser party. We won't stay here for too long. But
Okay.
Madison looks hot as fuck, per usual.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Vanita looks great. But I'm also with Vanita. The theme is kind of like, what? It
Yeah.
doesn't get cold like that there. People leave Charleston to go to their ski homes.
Yeah,
So none of them have ski gear. Some of them have it because
but
they
it's in
ski.
storage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, And you couldn't tell the mullets? You were confused.
Oh, well, yeah, the staff that was working, I was like, why are they all wearing these wigs? I don't
Mhm.
understand. It was a very confusing theme, honestly. And listen, what?
How'd you feel about your husband?
Oh, my husband. Oh, he looked horrific. And that was horrific and not terrific, just in case for the listeners out there. I mean, I really appreciated the comedy that came with it because I love that they were like, oh, you're like Shrek. And he's like, what? And they're like, no, Monsters, Inc. I actually really...
Oh,
they were
I
saying
got
he's-
that,
I
yeah.
forgot the character's
The
name.
Monsters Inc. I know.
Sully, I think that was the character's
Yeah,
name.
it's
in
like
the
a
movie.
mammoth, right?
Yeah. So I liked it. I mean, Craig can get away with it. That's fine. But I got to tell you, the ice luge. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm really far from it. But the fact that everyone was putting their mouth on that
Mm.
was a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
And guys, their mouth was on it.
COVID.
It was like that scene of Parks and Rec. If anyone watches this show when they talk about the water fountain, and that everyone just puts their mouth on the faucet and
Yeah.
swallows it.
It was Taylor Armstrong and the cotton candy.
It was. And the fact that we saw multiple people doing it with their mouth fully on it, I was just like, I don't know that I'm going to want to be doing that.
Yeah.
And again,
Mm.
I'm not a germaphobe, but they kept showing people doing that, and I'm
It
like,
is
wow,
too much
people
for
just
men.
their mouth was open, their tongues were on, they were slurping. The only one I wanted to see was Madison, because then she goes, "That's how your mom got herpes," and I thought that was the best fucking gift.
I heard you gave her chlamydia.
Guys, yeah, spin it, multiple seasons forward, and now we're talking about herpes with Madison.
Guys, this party was kind of boring. It's like, okay.
It was boring. It was awkward. And like the Olivia Taylor stuff was so fucking awkward.
Shep and Taylor, it was awkward.
Shep and Taylor, the first interaction was really awkward because she's like, thanks for coming. He's like, of course. Thanks for having me. And they had this like elongated eye contact where you could tell both of them kind of wanted to look away, but they didn't want, like, they didn't want to be the first one to look away. And then finally she was like, okay, we'll have fun. Or it was just really.
Then we've got, and I know we talked about it, but then we've got
thick.
Whitney and Austen like evading and getting drunk, eating fried chicken. And I mean, it was comedy capers.
Well, but before they got the chicken, remember they were doing the calamari and potato chips. No, what was it? What's it called? Caviar.
Oh God. Caviar. Yes,
Caviar
yes.
yeah.
Because that's how you fucking do it, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, they were doing caviar and the potato chips, but we see Shep and Olivia drive over.
Yes.
I don't mean this like I love like to be patronizing, but it is very endearing because he's actually really nervous to show up with Olivia because
how it looks.
Like he planned to do that to get back at anybody or to poke.
Yeah.
Because Shep in the past did this to Austen.
With the women.
With the women in the threesome video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking check them out on a date with Craig. They're all assholes to each other. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Talk about a group that has the most loyalty and no loyalty at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's why it doesn't bother me when they do. I'm like,
it doesn't bother me either. But Olivia assures them, like, we literally live across the street. And guys, they actually do. Mm-hmm. I don't even think it's a half of a block. I mean, you just walk.
Yeah.
So I thought that was sweet because he does feel nervous. He doesn't want anybody to think he's just being an asshole, you know?
Yeah. Well, and we get that scene before that when they're on the phone and he tells her, I talked to Austen and he told me that you and Taylor met and it was very emotional. And she's like, yep. And you can tell that she's very irked that Austen has already been spreading that type of
shock to no one.
Gossip.
Shock to no one.
Yeah. No, I like that they showed up together too.
Yeah, and I also oddly really like their camaraderie. They're really connecting through this because they're both very pragmatic people that for them, I think it's hard to wrap their head around like what?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's Olivia is the one that tells them about the family stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. They went to each other's families.
Yep. Sister and brother.
How do you feel about that? I mean, obviously, the way that they're observing it is like, that's a big deal. But just a question for you. The way that they're telling the story, they caught feelings. They didn't know what to do. They both independently went to each other's families, had conversations about liking each other and having feelings for each other and what was, the steps forward in that.
I mean, listen, I think that if you're talking to your family, you're really thinking about something. Mm-hmm. This is a conscious decision and you want the people that are closest to you to weigh in on it.
Because this decision would have what?
It would have a negative effect.
Correct.
So you need to make sure that you're in the right headspace and that it's worth it. So what do? You turn to your family who you can trust the most, who has no stake in the game on what you look like on the show, right?
If there were to be no negative, or there was to be no negative consequence, then why do we need to know in Taylor's confessional that Olivia and Austen weren't dating at that time?
Correct.
There we go.
Correct.
There we go.
You can't be guilty and non-guilty at the same time.
Correct.
It doesn't work. And that's what she's doing. She's living in the in-between where she's trying to tell herself that Olivia and Austen weren't really that serious, whatever, they weren't talking, because she's trying to sleep easier at night, at least for herself. Mm-hmm. But the same way, why are you having this conversation with Olivia? You have nothing you feel guilty for. Why not tell her at the very beginning that this happened?
Here's the issue.
You do feel guilty.
If they wanted to get together, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do I like, personally, my subjective opinion, do I like the timeline in which this is happening? Absolutely fucking not. However, if the both of them had been adults about this, what they would have done was talk to their parties, the four of them, would have had a conversation. It's not what they want. Nothing's happened, but we wanted to be open and honest with you. Then the consequence is now Shep and Olivia have to process what that is. Mm-hmm. The problem isn't having feelings for each other.
Right.
The problem is the piss poor job you went about doing it. And instead of being fucking honest about what you did, you're trying to say it wasn't a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
Just be honest about it. They should have just from the fucking jump said, we have feelings for each other. This is what happened. We both stopped it. We didn't know what it meant. I just broke up with Shep. Olivia, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Our friendship's more important. And the four of us just need to talk about this. And I don't know what this means. No one knows. And I'm sure you're going to be mad at me, but we can't lie to you because you are our best friends. No.
Yes.
That's not what happened.
That would have to inquire that they have maturity, and neither one of them do. And I don't mean in this situation. I can't really speak for Taylor because Taylor's a new watch for me. Austen doesn't have any maturity.
No, and guys, the consequence would have been horrible.
Never really taken any responsibility for anything. And I have no real hope that he would ever do something like that.
Shep and Olivia would have been sad, pissed, whatever. But I'll tell you fucking what, knowing the both of them would have had so much respect in the long run.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah,
but everyone does it the wrong way. Everyone does it the wrong way.
And it's getting worse.
The public reprimand.
It's getting worse and worse.
It is getting worse. Okay. So we've gotten Austen liquored up enough with Leon's and shops. Okay. So what if we made out? Did you? What if we did?
Hey, a little nudge, a little wink.
Well, you wouldn't have been because we have loyalty to Shep. Well, what if it was Olivia and Shep? Did you get Leon's? That wasn't confessional.
Guys, that was a reenactment.
That was my reenactment. Don't come at me, please.
Brought to you by Lauren, the producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this scene because Whitney was doing everything right for me.
Whitney.
I've come a long way with Whitney. I really have.
I know.
But
love him. Congratulations, Whitney.
Why?
He just closed a deal on a couple of projects.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I thought that scene was good because listen, Austen is his own worst enemy. So, he's an easy target, and he shows up. Well, before he gets like wasted, he shows up, and Whitney's like, "So why aren't you going?" He's like, "Well,
that's right.
What are they gonna do? What if I hug Taylor? Then Olivia's gonna be like, why is she hugging Taylor? But what if I hug Olivia? Then Taylor's gonna be like, why is she hugging Olivia? Because these women, I guess, don't have any depth. I don't know.
If you've done nothing wrong,
ding, 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 ding,
then it doesn't matter.
What's behind door one? Correct. So, and I love that we're also getting like some Olivia and some Madison commentary of like, well, of course, Austen isn't going to show up because he's like, he can't confront anything. And he's kind of like a wimp, and I do love the fact that Shep and Olivia do show up because regardless of what their reasoning is, they're showing up saying we can compartmentalize, we can be bigger people, and we can show up to a fucking event that's, about this seltzer drink. Whereas Austen, of course, cannot. Because he's such, he's pathetic. And I say that, with sort of love in my heart because I'm looking at you. But
come on.
No,
but he is pathetic. Guys, he's Tom Schwartz. I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
I just talked to Austen recently.
But it's just looking terrible.
It's awful.
Terrible. You just want to like shake him and be like, this is what it's looking like, so just own up to it. Own it. Because I think what you're doing is far worse than what you actually think you're doing.
I think he just thinks that he is more sly.
Well, that's so I'm embarrassed for him.
I know.
Like that makes me like want to give him a hug. Like that is so sad to me that he thinks that what he's doing right now. And guys, listen, I know, and I hope as he's watching, does he watch it back? Maybe sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't.
No,
I know some people don't. Okay,
sometimes I watch
so guys,
it for him.
He doesn't watch it because he probably can't. But if he were to watch it, I would hope that he would see what we're seeing. I can try to give him a little latitude in the moment. Maybe he doesn't see how like obvious he's being.
Yeah.
But like it's comical to me if he really thinks that he's pulling one over.
So yes, ayúdame, por favor.
I mean, it's a lost cause because the show's already filmed, so it is what it is.
Exactly. But
we can always grow and we can always move forward.
Well, they're trying to move forward out of this party. Madison's ready to get the fuck out of there. She's ready to get the fuck out, to go to Pat's, eat Leon's, and start gossip. She wants to start shit. She's like, I'm bored. Let's start shit.
I love it because I love when Whitney is trying to call, but then he calls Austen. And he's like, I'm going to call Craig. And then, Madison answers the phone, which was perfect.
Benita wants to come. Or Leva.
Oh, my God. Is it an open invitation? No, it's not open. just bring Madison. But by the way, kind of rude, but absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
That's
We don't
I
need
agree-
everybody to come.
I agreed. Sorry,
Oh.
but that's just the truth.
Madison's the only one I need coming
'Cause
along to
she's-
any of the boys.
Because she's a guy's
stuff.
girl like
she's,
that.
The energy's
she
there.
Can hang.
She can.
She can hang with the males. She can
Bring-
hang with the female.
Brain
She-
protection.
Gosh, so dumb.
Okay, so one of my favorite moments, which you probably could spot a mile away,
Mm-hmm.
was when Craig's like, "We're getting out of here," and he's talking to Austen.
And he's
he's
wearing
talking.
his trench coat mafia.
He's talking
fur.
to Shep, and he's like, "Listen, man, like I don't know what you want to do. You can do whatever you want, but you can come with me and talk to Austen like a man." And he goes, "But I'm leaving now." And Shep's like, "Okay, yeah, I need time to think about it. No, I'm leaving now.
Now.
10 minutes. I'm not giving you 10 minutes. I mean, if you want to come, 10 minutes, but if not, I'm not giving you 10 minutes just to make up your mind. I'll give you 5." And he walks away. And I thought, Craig's just doing the work. He's doing the work.
First of all, you understand that where they were in relation to where they're going is a matter of a minute or two.
It's close.
If Shep wasn't going to go in his car, Shep would just Uber. But he wants to ensure that Shep goes there.
Yeah. He's doing he's doing his job, baby.
He's gonna go there. Shep's mad, by the way. Shep is mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Shep's going in far more sober than Austin's going to be leaving.
Oh, big time.
Austin lost his eye somewhere in Act 6. I was like, who you looking at, man? Up there, downstairs. I couldn't blind.
Yeah. I did like when Shep went to the bar and was like, "I need a shot of tequila and I need a real beer, none of this seltzer shit." We didn't say shit, but
Well, then he thinks that because he's trying to get the fuck out of there.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks that Taylor is upset because he's holding a beer. He's like, "Someone gave it to me. Someone gave it to me."
yeah, she's like, "What?" Oh no, he's like, "I'm leaving," and she's like, "Oh, I'm disappointed." He goes, "Well, no, I'm not driving," and she's like, "No, I'm disappointed you're not drinking the seltzer."
I totally fucked that up.
Well, it's just like, who cares?
I know.
Like,
know.
because I feel like she was just trying to kind of be like petty, like, "No, but I care about the seltzer."
I think,
Oh,
yeah, she's
somebody gave this to me. You know,
Here's the thing. He gave the look of, Taylor, don't talk to me. Because he's on a mission. He's a man on the move and he knows exactly what he's going to do. And he does not want to give way to Taylor or anybody else that he's about to leave to go and confront Austen. Because he knows what he would do. So he knows that Taylor might be able to sniff out there's something going on, and he doesn't want Taylor to text Austen before he gets to Pat's. So that's why he's irritated that Taylor like grabs him before he goes, because he's just trying to look calm, cool, and collected, like there's nothing wrong. He doesn't want to bring the spotlight or the attention to himself, because then Taylor's going to be like, "What's happening? What's going on?" And this is the end of the coup d'etat. He's just trying to get to Patricia's, right? I mean, wouldn't you say?
yeah. I mean, they do have that conversation that
It's very
goes
awkward.
sort of south.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that Taylor is holding on to what do you call it? Monopoly, the get out of jail card. The get out of jail card is always going to be that he cheated on her multiple times.
Y'all?
So she used it in this conversation
Again.
too, which fine, but the relationship is over. You're not in a relationship with anymore. So that to me, we can't justify that right now.
I have to give justice to Shep. So I've seen it on Reddit and I've seen it elsewhere that people have been questioning about these two women that Shep slept with in Texas. And I think Taylor keeps referencing it. Okay. So a few months after Shep and Taylor had broken up, Shep took a trip to Austen and met up with people who lived here. They were not together. They had already been broken up, solidified broken up 4 months. So that rendezvous in Austen that Taylor keeps talking about, that was weeks before they filmed the reunion.
Okay, but they were already broken up at that point.
Yes, way broken up.
Yeah. But do we think that he did cheat on her at any point in the relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And that's probably why he's not maybe not digging his heels in the ground for this one instance, right? Because there's probably other situations.
Correct.
Maybe not many, but maybe at least one or so.
It's not. Guys, it's like, and I know it's going to sound like I'm excusing him. I'm not. Shep cheating is shit, dude. It's fucking wrong and fucking bullshit, and go to therapy and figure out why we're doing that, right? Because I don't think that it's something that he's like, yeah, just whatever. Cheating is never it's never that simple, right? It's never like, oh, I'm just getting my dick wet. It's never that simple. There's always an underlying meaning. Shep is not a habitual cheater. I think he says it in episode 1. He's like, the way, basically kind of saying like the way that Taylor talks about me cheating, it's like you would think that I'm like on the phone constantly calling a hoe.
She's out of town now, so
exactly.
come on over. Yeah.
And he kind of brings it up when they're talking at the Day Chaser event, and he's like, "You were with me 6 days a week." Shep, yes, he cheated. Did he cheat? I would say more than a handful of times. No. Do I think that his cheating, quote unquote cheating, was sleeping with all those women that he cheated with on Taylor? No, some of it was a makeout drunk or this or that and the other. I'm not excusing it, but I do want to be very fair and say that, you know, there's no nuance in gossip. And when people say cheat, we automatically assume fuck. And that's not fair. It's just not.
Yeah.
Like the threesome video, to my understanding, nothing even happened. Nothing happened.
He just can't catch a break.
He felt shitty about himself, and he had 2 loser girls over, and the girls took advantage. There's so much more to some of these stories, and the females too, on all different, on all different sides. I'm not trying to sound like a male sympathizer and internal misogynist, but the reality is the reality.
Yeah.
Now, is what Taylor and Austen and their dalliance, is that the same as Shep cheating? No, they are 2 separate things. However, just because Shep cheated doesn't mean it's not weird, and there's not going to be a consequence with trying to, question whether or not you like your best friend's guy that she's trying to date. They're 2 separate circumstances.
That's what I mean. Like, she's using it as her, like, get out of...
As leverage.
Yeah, get out of jail.
Whataboutism.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, what about
exactly.
that? It's like,
exactly.
It's kind of
not
different.
It's not related.
Correct.
It's like that person that stays in the relationship just so they can always one-up you.
Yes, it's comparing Kristen Doty and Tom Sandoval to Ariana and Tom Sandoval.
It's not the same.
Enough with the whataboutisms. It's very different. And I know that people have a hard time believing that Olivia and Austen dated. I am telling you they did. I was on the other line for both of them, talking them through the relationship. They absolutely dated.
Yeah.
But because he's 1 foot in and 1 foot out, similarly to what we're seeing, I think, with even Taylor and Madison and Olivia and all, guys, he's just.
And y'all, I know that Taylor dated Shep, but I also think that Taylor wouldn't be having this reaction that we're seeing if she didn't believe Olivia and Austen had nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's written all over her face. And this is someone who, in their own words, said they were both very, very close friends. So absolutely something happened with Olivia and Austen. Now, you said, Austen can't commit, but I mean, that's
But I will say that Taylor and Austen have always had a connection, because in season 7, it landed on the cutting room floor, so we didn't get it. But Taylor and Austen have this really, really, really beautiful heart-to-heart about how he is trying to process the breakup for Madison. I actually think that they both cry, because at that moment, I think Madison had said something to kind of poke at Shep, and the intention was only to poke at Shep, but unfortunately Taylor was collateral damage. Okay. And it was also something to kind of to poke at Austen too, right? I think it was kind of like a whataboutism.
Yeah.
And it really hurt Taylor's feelings, but Taylor didn't let it get to her, because she knew that Madison too, much like Austen, was processing. She's like, I am watching 2 people who are no longer together, but still trying to figure out what that love meant, why it ended the way it ended. And there's a lot of anger here. It was a heart to heart that they both had.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side, we see in season 8, which does make on air, we see Taylor and Austen, and Taylor and Austen provides the same type of advice towards Taylor. So there is a connection there. So it's not shocking to me that this is kind of happening. What's shocking to me is that no one has any fucking integrity, given everything that they've all been through as friends.
Yeah, it's a dangerous group of friends.
Did I go off on a tangent? I didn't hope I did.
Well, the men.
Well, yeah, the men.
The men, are very toxic.
And, well, they get in the car. I love this car. I love the car ride.
God.
Yeah.
Real quick, though.
Uh-huh.
Just when you were talking about Madison and Austen, I love when Rod was like, oh, I heard something about your ex-boyfriend. She goes, don't call him that.
Oh, my God. I love that she said that.
Don't call him my ex-boyfriend. And he's like, okay, our mutual friend that we both know.
Well, I don't,
absolutely.
Obviously, Raw didn't mean it this way, but I think for her, it's like it's insulting because it's like Amanda's not Amanda, it's Amanda and Kyle, and I think for her, she's like,
I'm not a part of the identity
exactly,
of this.
exactly.
I think she also is like, let's try to erase that from history.
Yeah.
But yes, his car ride. First of all, Madison's pissed that it's raining and she has to wait. She's like, God damn! When she goes outside.
That's because Shep's having that awkward fucking shot and beer with Taylor.
Oh, God.
And Craig somewhere is in the in-between wearing that damn jacket.
But it looks like Craig's also just outside, like, chilling.
I don't know, but whatever they're doing, I want to be doing.
I know.
I want to be in that car.
Yeah, this is...
I mean, I've been in that car.
This
version
is
of that car.
The crew that we need.
Yeah.
Craig, Shep, and
these are the
Madison.
anchors. Let's talk about it. Madison, Shep, Craig, Austen. They're the anchors. Whitney.
Yeah.
I think
Austen.
they're the
yeah.
Okay, fine,
The
whatever.
anchors, yeah.
Fine, fuck you.
I mean, he's just there for accidentally.
Whatever. I'm gonna get so slammed for this. I cannot wait.
As they say, when you go to the hotels, you have to give your credit card just for incidentals.
Shut up, girl. I want Austen on the pod. I want to interview him like I would in the chair. We're gonna get him on the pod.
I love the chair.
We're gonna get him in the pod. All right.
I'll take a sabbatical that day if I need to. I'll do it for the team.
Phone in.
I'll phone in some questions.
So I love how Shep describes, as soon as he gets in the car, he just describes what he just went through as a, quote, heady ass encounter. Oh, yeah. This is how I know this man does mushrooms. Because he left that being like, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
Was that me? Or was that Shepherd?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I think we were confused as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Okay. Then Madison, of course, because she goes from 0 to 100. Mm-hmm. She can't say, worst case scenario, they hooked up. Mm-mm. Worst case scenario, they want to get married.
What do they want to be together?
Exactly.
And the music.
Jesus Christ. Worst case scenario, they're married and she's pregnant. You know what I mean? I'm like, Jesus, do we have to go that far? Do we?
With chlamydia.
Exactly.
God.
They land there. Craig's like, let's do this shit. But by the way, we really haven't talked about what this shit is, which we all know is we're going to confront Austen.
Yeah.
Austen is going to be 3 sheets to the wind. He's not even going to remember his fucking name. Yeah. So let's see how this goes.
I love it.
But don't pussy out.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Don't pussy out.
And Madison goes, I don't knock. She just comes on in.
Because she does.
Yeah.
But she's honestly kind of afraid. She's like, well, I can walk in. Should I leave them out? Do they have to knock before they come in?
Yeah.
You look stressed, Shep. I am stressed. How did the night go? Ignore.
Well, also Austen's voice when he's like, oh, and Shep.
Oh,
remember? Got a little jump scare for him. And Shep.
He didn't know. He thought he was going to go through this night unscathed.
Fun, eating his chicken, drinking his champ.
You drink that Leon. You drink
looking
that
at
Tom.
Madison, just looking though.
Dom. Excuse me.
Oh God.
I said Tom. Drink Tom. Oh, no one wants to drink Tom.
No.
Drink Dom.
Dom, baby. But yeah, so he asked Shep how it went, and finally he was like, it was interesting, or it went interestingly.
Yes. Is that the nicest thing you can say? Yes. We will talk about it.
I love the way Shep says it. He goes, we'll talk. No.
Yeah,
and he kind of does it in a way. I mean, you're right. Austen is wasted, so probably a lot of it isn't landing. But the way that he says it is like, don't worry. I got your number. I got your number, and we're going to talk separately.
It's the look that your parent gives you across the department store saying, you're going to be sitting in the corner when we get home later. Don't you fucking worry. Yeah. Don't you forget it.
We're going to do it behind closed doors.
It's Stassi. I'm the devil. And don't you forget it.
I love it.
So Craig makes an interesting observation. Usually Shep is the bad guy, but tonight he's the victim.
I love it.
Just say you're sorry. Use protection.
Use protection. He might need it. Austen might need it.
Craig doesn't understand how he can feel sympathetic for Shep.
I mean, all of these men...
they're all one big circle jerk. Let's just call it what it is.
They hate each other and they love each other.
They're in Mykonos right now, swimming in the pool naked.
Oh, yeah.
Whitney, all 4 of them. Lockjaw.
That's why the sadness for me is the women. Taylor and Olivia. That's where like my sadness comes in. The men always bounce back because I mean
they will bounce back.
I mean it's like the men on Vanderpump. The men on Vanderpump will always bounce back. They'll have some exchange, some word exchanges. They'll act mad, but eventually it's like let's get a beer. Yeah, let's be bros again. a bromance or whatever the fuck that guy said. Professional.
Oh,
I don't know what he was saying.
Lord.
And also, like, wrong audience. Like, he's just telling a bunch of women, men will be men, and then we're going to look. I'm a guy's guy. I don't need you saying that to my face.
I'm good.
I got it.
I got it.
That was a mansplaining a guy's guy. I got it.
I'm a guy's guy.
I thank you.
We got it, bro. Bro, professional.
He's like, you know what that means? And Love is like, bro code? He's like, yeah, but bro, profession. And I was like, okay.
Shut the fuck
up. Bro code. We
Even
got it.
Love, I was like, oh, God, why do I have to entertain this Gollum motherfucker? Austen, you know, you're telling me nothing happened, but I'm hearing from everybody else that, you know, Taylor told Olivia that something did happen. Did you guys hook up?
Well, I do appreciate this scene when, like, you know, it's just the two of them talking. And he's like, you're saying a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
being vagaries.
Here's Austen being like, well, you know, we were friends, but then we weren't friends.
Hookup.
And then, you know.
Maneuvering? Is that a hookup?
God. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He did call Austen out for talking in circles and circles, and he's like, you're being vague. You're not saying anything.
Yeah,
and he goes, well, then what? And then Austen does his best to throw it back onto him. Well, what are you saying, Shep? Tell me what you're saying. And then Shep's like, did y'all hook up? Define hooking up. That's a yes. It doesn't define hookup, even if it's a makeout. Like something happened.
It's like when people try to explain that cheating is only if you have sex, but then when you think about it in same-sex relationships, there's no penis. So what would you call that?
Right.
I guess I'm free of consequence.
Yeah.
Because I never have an actual penis in me.
It's
penile.
The scapegoat. You're always safe.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. I mean, guys, come on. Like, I don't know what they are trying to do. And even then, I was like, this is going to blow up in all their faces.
Well, yeah.
Here's the thing. Austen fucked up. Austen, come on. Well, Taylor fucked up. They fucked up. And they fucked up because this is guilt by omission. They think that because they haven't actually admitted it, it absolves them from what they did. And it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. You've left out the explicit detail of I sucked her nipple. Jesus.
Wow.
Whoa.
Guys, she was there. Turns out she was also in the room.
Guys, I don't know.
She was in the guest room with them.
What?
Just kidding.
No, by the way, if anybody heard that, they're like, does Lauren know how to do sex? Does Lauren know how to do sex?
Is there a bed or isn't there a bed in the guest room? That's what we really want to know.
There was no bed in the guest room when I was there.
Okay. That's what Madison said.
But what was I saying? Oh, you know,
they've already done the deed.
They've done the deed. And you want to know what? Something tells me we've done it more than once.
Yeah.
Hate to say that. I don't know if that deed is penetration through penile in the vajayjay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if that is an over the shoulder rub.
It could be anything.
You know, a little cock rub.
And
I don't know what it could be.
Over the
anything.
pants. Yeah.
Over the pants, a FaceTime. I don't know.
But that's when he said define hookup, you're guilty.
Exactly. And it's more than one thing.
Even if it's, you know, Bren sticking her finger out and he sucked on it. Is that a hookup? I mean, the implication is that you need to define what we did, because maybe they didn't have sex. I mean, I think they probably did. Maybe they didn't. But
if I were Austen's producer, I would ask him, what do you think hooking up is? How would you define hooking up? And he would give me X, Y, and Z. And I go, if you are asked if you have hooked up and it's none of the things that you think hooking up is, just say no.
Just say no.
And then later on, when somebody finds out what it really is, you can say what?
Well, that's not how I defined it.
That's not my definition of hooking up. But you know what? You shit the bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how I would have done it. I mean, no?
Correct.
Yeah, but nope, that's not what happened. Instead, he's like, I'm sweating.
I'm drunk. I've had a lot to drink tonight. And Shep's like, good, got you right where I want you.
First of all, Craig's like, to Whitney, what do you think happened? Exchange of fluids.
Gross. I was with Madison. She's like, gross.
Yeah, get out of here.
Just say something else.
Please. I love Whitney too, but also
fluids.
Whitney does it to be just stupid and gross and funny.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But I did also, for the comedy part of it, earlier before they got there, when they were talking about alcohol, Whitney was like, you know, alcohol erase the past. The forwards, the backwards, the upwards, and all this stuff. Doesn't that make sense? And Austin's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, it does. I mean, it made total sense to me.
Yeah, but I love that Austen was like, no,
absolutely not.
Yeah, so Austin got a point for me in that scene.
Yeah.
But it is rough riding right now.
We are rough riding.
Yep. We are ending on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
We're hanging on by a cliff. What is a hookup?
What is
And
a
did
hookup?
Austin do it? The answer is, of course.
Well, I'm curious what our listeners think a hookup is. You know
Guys,
what?
DM us.
DM us, but also
Lauren always says, send us a little DM.
we're gonna do the AMA. I'm gonna ask executive producer what she thinks a hookup is.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna tune in.
Tune in, baby.
Tune in.
Guys, thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Look at me. I finally started begging.
5 stars.
Guys, give us 5 stars. Star is Born. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah, Stars Born.
Honestly,
Lady Gaga version.
Here's the thing. Apple fucking sucks. They make you suck their cock. And the fucking
Is that
ratings,
a hookup?
Yeah.
Should we
Yes,
ask
it
Apple?
is. By the way, guys, Apple, they do. Apple makes you suck their cock for fucking Utah Jazz tickets, okay? I need you guys to give us 5 stars. Give us whatever review you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, cheerio.
Cheerio, darling.
Bye, guys. Until next week. Goodbye.